What happened that made you stop being homophobic? 1. I met some gay people. As it turns out, they were just people. 2. Not homophobic, but I woke up at about 10, when my mom said my uncle was banned from coming to our vacation condo by my father because he was gay. Before then, I kind of let the arguments and both sides bit wash over me, but they WSS a crystallization point where I started noticing it as pure bigotry. I'm sorry, the nicest dude in the family full of domestic violence and white-collar drug abusers can't come to Christmas because he's gay? You're both cheating on each other. Sanctity of what marriage now? 3. My mom slapped me and told me everyone has a right to be happy. That was in 9th grade 13 years ago. For, like many here, I grew up around people where homophobia was the norm. I come from a Latino-Mexican background and I'm really ashamed of how much homophobia, hate in general there is in our culture. Since most Mexicans are Catholic, I grew up around the church a lot, especially since my father had once been a Catholic priest. Long story. Growing up, and to this day, I was surrounded by lots of hate towards the LGBTQ+ community. My parents would often make remarks making queer people seem almost as if they were crazy. They would often say that they were crazy for wanting gay rights and even saying yuck if they saw a movie scene where two people of the same sex were kissing. As a kid, I was sort of brainwashed into all of this. I remember being a little kid and being disgusted by gay people and having strong opinions against trans people. As I grew older, I learned more about the world around me, especially learning from friends who had come out. I especially owe a lot to a teacher of mine who had opened my eyes up to many issues of our world. Now I'm a proud pansexual, laughing face. Edit. I didn't mention as much that a lot of hate towards queer people was also spread at church. During the Mass, the priest would often make remarks about gay people. They also made me go to a sort of doctrine or church school. I'm not sure how to describe in English. The lady teaching us would also often make remarks saying how the devil tempted people into wanting to be gay and how it was wrong. She said some pretty crazy stuff, claiming that Columbus was a great man for spreading Christianity to the New World. I even got into an argument with her about that. Man, people are crazy. 5. Homophobia was the norm when I was growing up. Then I got older and the political landscape changed, which made me question my belief, and I came to the conclusion it just didn't make any sense to be homophobic. 6. I came out as gay. 7. I wasn't super homophobic, just a love the sinner, hate the sin kind of guy. On my last day in high school, someone said, "Why do I care? They're not hurting me." Cured me in 3 seconds. I still remember how magical that moment was for me. 8. There are 20 years between myself and my youngest brother. I and myso was raised in an explicitly homophobic, biphobic, transphobic fundamentalist religion that I left with myso in my early 20s, so I had a lot of internalized, conditioned, toxic beliefs about the LGBTQ that needed to be deconstructed. My little brother was obviously either gay or bi, and it was obvious from the time he was 6 imho. He came out to my sisters, and I as bi when he was 11, and we were like, tell us something we don't know, lol. I think watching him just grow up, it was obvious that he hadn't chosen to be that way, it was just how he was. This false narrative that LGBTQ are somehow defective or sinners became more disgusting to me over time. I can't remember exactly when it happened, but my so and I were like, if our future child happened to be LGBTQ, could we teach that child the things we were taught about the LGBTQ? We were like, no, that would be evil. Now, we have an 18-year-old niece that recently came out as lesbian, and we feel honored to be the only family that she trusts enough to introduce to her first GF. Spending time with her just reaffirms the fact that there is nothing wrong with the LGBTQ. It was our upbringing that was defective. 9. Went off to college, started meeting gay people, quickly realized that their awesomeness was no different than any straight person's awesomeness. Stopped bothering to otherize them as I had in high school.